Welcome to Marrakech, Morocco. Today is a special day because it's my first and only day that I actually get to walk around the entire city as much as I possibly can and go and see as many of the palaces, mosques, Medina, the souks, everything that I possibly can fit into today because tomorrow is the beginning of Eid al-Adha. I believe I'm saying that as best as I possibly can. It's the day where sheep are sacrificed for their god and things like that, and it's a very special holiday for Moroccan people. And so that day I'm probably either going to go on an excursion or just hang out at my riad. And so today's the only day that I really get in Marrakech to explore as much as I possibly can. I'm currently at the Bahia Palace. The Bahia Palace is, I believe, my Riyadh guy, he told me that it's like 500 to 600 years old. And so far, I'm in the main square area, I believe, and it looks very similar to the like Alhambra, the Court of the Lions, if you remember that one. So yeah, anyways, I got here last night and I arrived into my riad at like midnight or 1 a.m. So a little jet lagged, a little tired, but I had some amazing breakfast at my riad this morning, and then now just made it over here to the Bahia Palace. I'm gonna go to the main square and maybe go somewhere to eat for lunch later on, but yeah, I'm super excited to show you around Marrakech a little more because this was kind of more of a spontaneous trip for me, and I was just like, you know what, I need to go see Morocco after seeing Andalusia. So yeah, super excited to show you around, and yeah, let's get into it. So I don't know too much of like where I am in this palace and stuff like that, but I will say that every square and courtyard that I go to is like so colorful, so beautiful, so intricate. Very much reminds me of like Alhambra and the Alcazar of Sevilla, but I know that this is where it basically originates from, which is so cool to see because it's very relative, you know, in what I had just experienced. So yeah, super cool. I love it. So this one is the Bahia Palace. Okay, so I actually just finished walking through the Bahia Palace. It's short and sweet, very beautiful, but you can do it within, I would say, 30 minutes if you take your time and appreciate what you're looking at. But yeah, I highly recommend doing it. It was only 10 dirham, which is about a US dollar, maybe $1.10. So well worth it if you're coming here to Marrakech. Next, I believe I'm going to start walking towards the center of the Medina and maybe even just go to the main square first. So yeah, let's go do that now. Okay, so after just walking through a smaller area from the palace, of the Bahia Palace, to now getting here to the main square, I believe it's called Jemaa Afna, and I cannot believe that I'm finally here. I've seen this square in so many TV shows and everything. I'm just super excited to be here finally. Okay, so I just made it to the secret gardens. These are some of the gardens that are just on the other side of the Medina, the main square, the Jama'afna. And I saw that there were two different gardens that you could go to. One of them is the secret gardens, which is a lot smaller than the second gardens, which is Le Jardin Majorel. I'm probably going to be going to both. I'll try to make it to both. But yeah, these secret gardens are supposed to be very like small, but also sweet and beautiful. And I think the first square here, first gardens are actually exotic gardens. So it's things from all over Africa and the neighboring regions. And then the second one, which is bigger, actually is more of like the Andalusian, like Spanish type gardens. But yeah, I'm super excited to check out the exotic and the Spanish gardens. So yeah, let's go check it out. Okay, so I just read the sign and it says that that is where the main water supply is that feeds the rest of this entire irrigation system, where the fountains are fed, and then from the fountains they actually go through to the irrigation system to actually water all these plants all the time. It actually is done by itself. So yeah, that's super cool. Plus, I think not a lot of these plants actually need a lot of water anyways, but it's good to have a continuous irrigation system doing it for you. So that's a genius idea. So the walls and actually the main area of these gardens actually used to be a palace back in the day in the 6th and 7th centuries, and now it's actually owned by an Italian couple who made the first one more Italian based, and like they did that one, and then the second one, the main gardens, is actually Andalusian influenced. So yeah, super cool. Okay, so a couple of things. This first photography hall actually is what houses a lot of the photographs of the Italian couple purchasing the home or the palace, and then they have a bunch of people constructing it, rebuilding it, and making it influences from all over the closer regions around here. So it's super cool to see how it was, how they built it, and how it is now in person. And the second thing I wanted to mention was that there's actually, I don't know if you can hear in the background, there's actually a lot of prayer calls happening, which is very amazing to hear. I find it pretty cool that it's talking about the Court of the Lions for their water irrigation system. That's so cool. I feel blessed to have been there and to see it for myself, because you know, this area of it is based on Andalusian influences. So yeah, that's super cool to have seen it for myself. Cool that they give you free hats so that you don't feel as hot. So I just wanted to give a recap as far as a few different types of things that I've done so far today. I went to, here at the Secret Gardens. I've gone to the Bahia Palace. I've stayed at my riad and like gotten breakfast, and then I've walked through the main square and some of the other souk areas. So since I've done a variety of things, I just wanted to give you guys a little recap of how I feel about Marrakech so far. And to be honest, I feel like Marrakech, one, is not only super safe and a comfortable place to be, but also a place that is absolutely stunning and beautiful in its own unique way that, kind of separates itself from a lot of other places that I've ever been to in my entire life. And I would say that it's definitely worth coming to if you're willing to accept all the cultural and religious and just daily ritual differences between what you're usually used to and what they are. Okay, it's been a few hours since my last little vlog clip I did for you guys. Since I did the last clip, I actually went back to my riad. I also went to the Urz Cafe, as you saw. Went back to the riad. Actually, got to go for a swim in the pool, and as well as go and tan on the top of the roof for a little bit. So, yeah, it was super relaxing and nice to do that for a few hours, and then rinse off and get back out here just past the main square again. And now I'm going to go and check out just a mosque nearby, and then maybe go out to eat, and then maybe look for a few trinkets to bring back home from the souk market. So yeah, I'm going to go do that now. So let's go check it out. Okay, so I don't necessarily know exactly what this mosque is called. I know it's not the Ben Yusuf Mosque on the other side of the main square. I know that it's under construction and that it's super beautiful from the outside. I don't think that I'm gonna risk even trying to go inside, because I know that it's probably not customary for people who are non-Muslim to go into most of the mosques here in Morocco, but I feel very fortunate to even be here and see something like this again in real life, and see more of the Moorish architecture, more of the beautiful parts of the world that I feel like I have been missing out on my entire life. So super excited to be here. Yeah, so I'm gonna go get some food later on, as I said earlier. Just another tip, it's just so amazing that Marrakech is such a crazy, wild, very unorganized yet very organized kind of place, as well as being one of the most peaceful and quiet places I've ever been, with being at my riad that I'm staying at, which, by the way, I'll give you guys kind of a tour of that tomorrow, since tomorrow is the Eid al-Adha, which is kind of like the sheep slaying holiday of the Muslim religion, which for me personally I'm not necessarily looking forward to, just because I'm a vegan and that's not necessarily something that I would support, but I do slightly support it because it is their culture and their religion, and that's something that they do. But anyways, back to I'm going to the riad tomorrow, and I'll kind of give you a better tour of it. I'll make sure to leave the riad in the description below so that you guys are able to check it out. It's called Riad Shamali, and it's an amazing place. It's full of white and blue paint everywhere, and it's just so calm and relaxing and peaceful. So yeah, the dichotomy of how quiet it can be and how peaceful versus how crazy it can be and how crazy it is. So yeah, it's super fun to experience something like this with you guys. I don't really know how easy it is to depict how crazy this entire main square actually is in real life, like through the camera, but in real life there's just constant drums and constant like shouting and constant activity happening and people moving all over the place and cars and motorcycles just everywhere. Lots of musical instruments and people selling things. It's something that you actually have to see in person. It's hard for me to film it without like being too close and then asking for tips and, you know, that whole guilt trip sales situation that's happening between, you know, locals and tourists alike. So yeah, it's very, very amazing to see in person though.